Hello and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing something a little different for the channel. I used to say that so much back in the day. Anyways, we're going to be talking about the Honda Civic and the history of it. So, I don't know much about the Civics, I'm going to be honest. I drive the car you saw in my previous video, a 2002 Honda Odyssey. So I'm a little familiar with Hondas. You know, whenever I'm driving in the road, I'm kind of like, oh, there's a Civic, oh, there's an Accord, oh, there's a Passport, and things of that nature. But specifically Civics, because there's so many generations of them, I don't know a ton about them, but I do know that they come in sedans, they come in coupes, used to anyways. There's the Type R. So before we can talk about Honda Civics, we need to first make a shout out to the previous, the predecessor to the Honda Civic, which was the Honda N600 and the Honda Z600. Now the N series and Z series were subcompact cars that were sold in Japan, but I'm not 100% sure if they ever really reached the United States. But the Honda Civic was Honda's very first big success in America, and why they are so established here in America to begin with. And yeah, that's a little preview of the N series and Z series cars. Now we can talk about the first gen Honda Civic, which came out in 1972 and lasted for 3 years. It came with an i4 and put out roughly 50 horsepower and had an estimated 40 miles per gallon, which is pretty good considering the times when gas prices were super expensive and they had that whole oil crisis back in the, what was it, 70s, I think. But yeah, it came with a 4-speed manual and a 5-speed manual, and also had a 2-speed Honda-matic, which is something I've never heard of, but I guess we're both learning things here today. And yeah, that was their first success overall, not even just in the United States, but also in Japan as well, because before they were making motorcycles, and this was one of their first big forays into the car making industry. And I'd say they hit a grand slam because they've made 10 more generations since then. Fucking fruit fly. Next up, we have the second generation Honda Civic, which is one of my favorite designs of the Honda Civic. Obviously, you don't see them around on the road anymore because they came out in 1980, but I think they look pretty cool. They once again lasted for roughly 3 years, almost 4, and came with, once again, an i4 engine and had a 4-speed and 5-speed manual option, and a 2-speed Honda-matic again, but it was only available in the year, in the model year 1980, and then it also came with a 3-speed automatic for the 81 through 83 model years. One thing I forgot to mention in the previous first-gen clip was that Honda Civics are front-wheel drive, so if you didn't know that, now you do. The base model Civic, second-gen Civic, came with a 55 horsepower engine, while the 1500 engine produced 67 horsepower. I'm right, jeez. I'm super sleep deprived. Anyways, yeah, this came with a hatchback option and a sedan option, and also a station wagon option, which is something I also did not know. It's kind of crazy. The Civic is a station wagon? What do you know? Next up, obviously, we have the third gen Honda Civic. This one came out in 1983 and then went until 1987. It came with a 3-door hatchback option, as well as a 3-door coupe option with the CRX, a 4-door sedan, and once again a 5-door station wagon. It was front-wheel drive and also 4-wheel drive with, I assume, the CRX option. It once again came with an i4 and a new 12-valve, 76 horsepower, 1500cc inline-4 engine was introduced with this generation. The base hatchback and Civic had an engine pushing out 60 horsepower, and the DX and 1500 S model hatchback shared the new 1500cc engine with the sedan, wagon, and CRX 1.5. The 1500S model achieved over 50 miles per gallon, which is something ludicrous to think about. You know, all these electric cars coming out, you know, they're boasting 300-mile range, but like with 50 miles per gallon, and this thing says 60 on highway, that's more range than an electric car, and it's way better for the environment. I wish I could get my hands on a third generation Civic. Geez. The transmission came with a 4 or 5 speed manual, and I believe the CRX came with a 5+1 speed manual 4-wheel drive. I'm not sure what that means. Pretty much, I'm gonna assume it's just a 6-speed. And once again, a 3 and 4 speed Honda-matic transmission. And that pretty much defines the third generation Civic. My God, the sun's coming up. I'd make a vlog about it, but vlogs don't make enough views, so I'm trying something else out. I'd talk about why I'm up at 6 a.m. and I haven't slept, but no one cares, really. Anyways, sorry to be emo. The fourth generation Honda Civic started out in 1987 and went until, looks like 1991, and then the Civic Shuttle lasted 5 more years after that. The body style came out with a 3-door hatchback, a 3-door coupe with the CRX, and a 4-door sedan, and a 5-door station wagon, which is also known as the Shuttle. So something I didn't realize was that the CRX is actually a subroute of the CRV, and it was just a trim level of the Civics, which I didn't realize that was a thing. Once again, it came with a 1.3 liter i4 and all the way up to a 1.6 liter i4. So not a huge difference, but I'm going to be later talking about the horsepower differences that creates. Once again, came with a 4-speed and 5-speed manual, and this time a 4-speed automatic. So this is the first time where there's only 3 options for transmission, something to note. All of the United States engines came with a fuel-injected system, and the hatchback came with 70 horsepower. The DX came with 92 horsepower. The LX trim level came with, doesn't say for some reason. The EX came with a 105 horsepower, so now we're really starting to get into the more powerful Civics as we're jumping through the timeline here. The SI Civics came with about 100 horsepower, a little more than that, thanks to the single overhead cam with 16 valve engines. And the wagon, fruit fly again, the wagon or shuttle came with front-wheel drive as well as real-time 4-wheel drive, and doesn't really say the horsepower, but I would assume around 90. On to the 5th gen. You guys want to know what Vtec sounds like? Of course you guys want to hear what Vtec sounds like, so here you go. Here's a little Vtec. Vtec, baby! This is the first generation that features Vtec, which is variable timing electronic control, which means the engine will perform better at lower RPMs and still perform just as well at higher RPMs. Vtec is a mainstay in Honda Civics to date, and the 5th gen kicked off Vtec in 1991. I believe that's when it started. I think so. And this generation lasted until 1995. This time around, it came with a 2-door coupe, a 3-door hatchback, and a 4-door sedan. So unfortunately, the CRX and the Shuttle are gone. But now we have Vtec, so nice little trade-off there. The DX came with a 1.5 liter, 102 horsepower i4 engine. The EX came with a 125 horsepower, 1.6 liter Vtec engine. And the EXS, which only came out in the year 1993, came with a 125 horsepower, 1.6 liter Vtec engine. The transmissions were available with a 4-speed automatic and a 5-speed manual. There's 2 different types of manuals. I'm not sure what the difference is. It says A000 and B000. I'm not sure what the difference between those are. Looks like the B000 came with the EX S, and the A000 came with the DX and the DX Special Edition, which was available from 1994 and 1995. And the engine options, there was a ton of them. It came with a 1.3 liter, or a 1.5 liter, or 1.6 liter, or all the way up to a 1.8 liter, which was the ZA only. Again, not sure what that means, but if you're a car guy, you probably understand that. So the 6th generation Honda Odyssey was in production from 1995 to 2000. We're out of the 20th century. At its introduction in 1995, it won Car of the Year for Japan for the 3rd time. And this time we have a couple more body styles compared to the 5th gen Honda Civics. It came with a 2-door coupe, a 3-door hatchback, a 4-door sedan, a 5-door liftback. Not sure what that is. Probably pretty similar to the Civic, I would imagine. And the wagon is back with a 5-door option, which I'm not sure if that was available in the United States. I assume probably not. Anyways, the engine came with a 1.3 liter option, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, and a 2 liter option diesel, 2 liter diesel option with a, I believe, a turbo in it, which, I mean, that engine had to be kicking out some mad horsepower. Once again, a front-wheel drive and also a 4-wheel drive option was available. Transmission came with a 5-speed manual and a 4-speed automatic. CVT was also an option, but that was only available in the HX trim level, which was available as a coupe exclusively. So let's see try and find the horsepower here quick. So the Civic SI reappeared in 1995, available exclusively as a coupe and boasting a 1.6 liter i4 engine that made 160 horsepower, making it the fastest Civic on the list so far. It had pretty good fuel economy for having such a powerful engine, with 27 miles per gallon in the city and 31 on the highway. And that's about it for the 6th generation. On to the 7th. The 7th generation Honda Civics started production in the year 2000 and finished around September 2005. This time around, the Civic was no longer a subcompact car, but rather just a compact car due to the significant boost in interior space. This time around, the body style options were as follows: a 2-door coupe, a 3-door hatchback, a 4-door sedan, and a 5-door hatchback. Front wheel drive again, as well as 4-wheel drive. Many different i4 engines ranging from 1.4 to 1.7, and then a jump to a 2-liter i4 engine. Transmission came in a 5 or 6-speed manual and a 4 or 5-speed automatic. Yeah. Once again, I'm not able to find specifically the horsepower for each engine, but the Civic Si K-Series engine was rated at 150 B horsepower, which I believe is, I'm not even sure, but the trim levels came with, let's see, VP, DX, EX, HX, LX, SI, Type R, SIR, and a 2.0 intelligent Vtec. And that pretty much sums up the 7th generation Honda Civic onto the 8th gen. The 8th generation Honda Civic is probably one of the most recognizable because it's one of the most popular. It was in production from 2005 all the way to 2012, so that's pretty long compared to the previous generations. The Type R came back with this generation as well, and it was introduced in 2007, but sold exclusively in Japan, so here in the States we never got a hold of it. This time around, we have a 1.6 liter i4 all the way up to a 2 liter i4, so a little bigger than previous generations, at least on average. And the transmission came with a 5-speed automatic and a 5-speed or 6-speed manual. Trims and models are as follows. You have the DX model, then the DX VP, DXG, LX, LX, SR, EX, EXL, and then you have the SI, and this the SI comes with a 2 liter K20Z3i Vtec engine producing 197 horsepower. That's a lot. And the SI came in both a coupe and sedan. And in 2009, the Civics got a bit of a facelift, which I'll try and show down here. And yeah, I think that's about everything there is to know. Obviously, it came with a hatchback. The hatchback was a little underpowered, but the Type R hatch did have a 2 liter i4 engine, putting out probably similar horsepower to the other one that I just said. Let's see, 201 horsepower, looks like. And that about sums up the 8th generation Honda Civic onto the 9th generation. The 9th gen Civics were in production from 2011 all the way to 2017, so we're getting to some pretty recent cars here. Once again, the Type R was available, but only in Japan, and then only 750 were made in a limited run, and that's due to flooding in Thailand, I believe. Anyways, let's see here. The sedan coupe came with a 1.6 liter i4, or all the way up to a 2.4 liter i4 with a dual overhead cam intelligent Vtec option. Also came with a hybrid option. I think the previous generation also had hybrid, so this isn't the first iteration of the hybrid. Came with a 5-speed automatic, a 5-speed manual, and a 6-speed manual. And once again, they tuck the horsepower ratings away from me, which is annoying, but the SI put out 205 horsepower with a 2.4 liter K-Series inline-4 engine, which retains the 11-to-1 compression used in the K20Z3. Another facelift in the year 2013, so I'll put that over here. And then minor changes for 2014. The hatchback / tour came in a both 5-door options, and the station wagon was brought back, I believe. came with a 6-speed manual and a 5-speed automatic and a 6-speed automatic, 1.4 liter i4, and then up to a 2 liter i4 with a turbo. That would be the Type R. Yeah, and that about sums it up. Again, the Type R was available from 2015 to 2017, which was available for the European market. And that car put out what looks to be 306 horsepower with a 0 to 62 in 5.7 seconds and a top speed of 167 miles per hour. All of them had a 6-speed manual, and yeah, that about sums it up. So once again, the United States are snubbed out of the Type R, but eventually with the 10th generation, the United States will finally get their hands on a Civic Type R, legally anyways. Like, you don't have to import it. Second to last, we have the 10th Generation Civics, which started in October of 2015 and going up to 2021. That's this year, if you aren't following. The Type R version, based on the hatchback model, was released in 2017, including North America, which is the first time that the states got a hold of the Type R brand. It came with a 1 liter i3 turbo, a 1.5 liter i4 turbo, a 1.6 liter i4, a 1.8 liter i4, a 2 liter i4, a 2 liter i4 turbo. That would be the Type R. And then it also came with a diesel option with a 1.6 liter i4 turbo with Vtec. I'm not sure what Vtec is, but it's probably pretty similar to Vtec. That's my guess. Came with a 6-speed. I believe this is only the... No, this might just be the hatchbacks, but it came with a 6-speed manual and a 7-speed automatic. I believe the automatic is exclusive to diesels, though. Not sure on that. Came in a sedan option, and it came with a coupe option, and the coupe was only offered in 2 versions with a 1.5 liter turbo. The coupe was discontinued in 2021, which is the first time that the Civics didn't have a coupe option, which is unfortunate because I personally like the coupes the most, but, you know, if it ain't selling, they're going to stop selling. The hatchback... Yeah. Looks like the Type R. The SI was shown off with a turbocharged 1.5 liter engine, exclusively with a 6-speed manual, and a 0 to 60 in 7 seconds, or maybe 6.3. Yeah, 6.3. And lastly, the Type R was revealed in 2016 at the Paris Motor Show and unveiled the following year. It has a 2.0 liter turbocharged inline-4 engine producing 306 horsepower, making it the fastest Civic to date, and has a combined consumption of 25 miles per gallon. Multiple facelifts. I'm not going to show all of them because there are literally like 3 of them, and I don't really have time for that. This video is long enough as it is. This time I actually do have the horsepower, so why not list it off? The 1.5 liter i4 turbo standard put out 174 horsepower, while the SI sedan and SI coupe came with 205 horsepower. The 2 liter i4 petrol engine came with 158 horsepower, and the 1.6 liter i4 petrol sedan came with a put out of 125 horsepower. The 1.8 liter, geez, there are a lot of these. i4 petrol engine, which was the sedan and hatchback, put out 140 horsepower. The 1 liter i3 turbo petrol engine, which was the sedan and hatchback, came with 128 horsepower. The 1.6 liter i4 turbo diesel engine, which was in the sedan and hatchback, came with 118 horsepower and 221 pounds per feet of torque at 2,000 RPM. The 1.5 liter i4 turbo petrol engine, which was the hatchback, came with 180 horsepower at 5.5k RPM in the manual and 6k RPM in the CVT. And last but not least, we have the Type R engine with a 2-liter K20C1 i4 turbo petrol engine with 315 horsepower at 6,500 RPM. Wow. Hopefully the 11th gen is shorter, and I know it is because that literally just came out this year. So on to the final generation of the, not final, but newest generation of the Honda Civic. And now we're on to the current generation of the Honda Civics, the 11th gen, which came out in May of this year. It came with a 4-door sedan option and a 5-door liftback, also known as a hatchback. Apparently they switched the name to liftback. Front-wheel drive, and only 3 engines this time around because the Type R has yet to be announced. Came with a 1.5 liter turbo dual overhead cam i4 turbo and a 2 liter Vtec dual overhead cam i4 engine. The only transmission, at least shown here, is a 6-speed manual, which I know not to be true because they definitely have a automatic option, because automatics are the way of the future. So that's weird. I don't know why they're not showing it. But I can assure you there is a automatic option. It's weird. So if you're looking at the Wikipedia, there is an automatic option. Anyways, the hatchback was unveiled in late June, and the Civic, the 11th gen, comes in 4 trim levels: the LX, Sport, EX, and Touring. The LX and Sport models come with a 2-liter i4 engine that I talked about before, while the EX and Touring models come with the 1.5-liter turbocharged i4. All of the sedan and hatchbacks come with a CVT, but the liftback can be equipped with a 6-speed automatic transmission on Sport and Sport Touring models. What's CVT? I know what it is, but weird. Where is the transmission? Anyways, the 11th gen 1.5 liter turbocharged engine was put out to 127 horsepower. And yeah, that about wraps up the Honda Civics. So I feel like the video was a little boring, probably was, but now you know just about everything you need to know about the Honda Civic. If you like this video, make sure to go to the comments. I know it's, cheesy, go down to the comments, but seriously, go down to the comments, let me know what you thought about the video, because I kind of put a lot of effort into this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, then probably won't see another car model history like this, but I had fun with it, so hopefully you guys did too. I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever that may be. I'm kind of sporadic, so it could be literally anything, so catch you guys soon.